Hey guys, what's up? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys the 4th sneak peek for the new update coming out inside of Clash Royale. Now today they announced 3 new legendary cards we're going to be seeing inside of the game for a total of 5, already having the Princess and the Ice Wizard. Let's go ahead and go through each one by one and then hop into a pair of friendly battles to check them out in action. Now first of all, we have the Miner. Now the Miner's unlocked at Arena 6, and what's really cool about the Miner is that you can place him anywhere you want on the map. He only costs 3 elixir. You can use him to take out some spawners from the back. You can use him to attack crown towers, although he does do a reduced amount of damage to towers, but he's a pretty cool card. You can use him to do a lot of different tactics, and I'm going to show you guys more about him in just a moment. Now second up is the Lava Hound. Now the Lava Hound's unlocked at Arena 4, and you guys probably know the Lava Hound from Clash of Clans. Has a ton of health. You can pretty much think of it as a golem for the air, and of course when it explodes, it blows up into a bunch of different lava pups, and they do a pretty decent amount of damage against the tower. So you're going to use the Lava Hound as a tank, obviously, and the Lava Hound again is unlocked at Arena 4 and costs 7 elixir. Now finally, this card is absolutely insane. It is unlocked at Arena 6, and it is called Sparky. Sparky costs 6 elixir, and I don't even know how to describe this card. I think it has a great thing in the description. It says obliterate everything in sight. Pretty much it charges up its laser. It looks like a hidden Tesla at the very end of it. And when it's done charging, it shoots an AoE bolt, and by AoE I mean it affects multiple, it does splash damage, and it just destroys everything in its path. It is so ridiculously strong. I've been trying to find some weaknesses in it, but this card is absolutely ridiculous, and it's going to be a really tough one to counter. You have to play cards around it like the Skeleton Warriors, Goblins, something like that, and to pray you can take it out, but the Sparky is crazy. Let's go ahead and hop into a couple of battles. So pairing up against the Game Hunter, I'm going to be playing with all 6 new cards that are coming out in this update. Not only do we have the 3 new cards that I talked about earlier in this video, but also they did announce that we're going to be getting the Guards, the Furnace, as well as the Fire Spirits, which I'm going to be playing right now. Check out this usage of the Miner though. This is what you're going to be able to do to take out some spawner decks. You can drop the Miner to take it out from a distance, and as you can see, this Furnace is going to go down fairly quickly, and we ended up getting a pretty decent amount of value out of that 3 elixir Miner. Alright, let's go ahead and use our Lava Hound. We're going to go ahead and try to tank up some of this damage. He's going to play his Sparky though, and the Sparky is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to start charging up to do a crazy amount of damage, and even though my skeletons are actually pretty decent at taking them on, because the guards do have that shield, it's still going to be pretty rough. And as that Sparky runs down the lane, we're going to go ahead and get ready as it charges up and takes a shot off against our tower. Now, one hit did half of our tower's health. Safe to say that's pretty balanced to deal with. Anyways, let's go ahead and get ready for our own Sparky and try to drop that in the very back. Now, he's going to play his Miner to attack our Furnace right here. Should be able to use our Valkyrie to take him out. And now that we have a Valkyrie running in the lane, we still have a couple of those Fire Spirits running out of the Furnace. Let's play our own Sparky and get ready to try to dominate the left-hand side of the map. So the Valkyrie up front will be able to clear up the small units. We got the Sparky from behind doing massive damage. Of course, the Sparky cannot target air. It only targets ground units, so keep that in mind. It's going to take out the Fire Spirits as soon as he drops those. And if you guys notice the ring around the front of the Sparky, that's how you can tell when it's charging up. It has 3 rings, and as they turn white and he starts, getting that laser, he'll start doing damage. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get too much damage against the tower. We did bring it down to 1300 HP, but still, let's get ready for another push and try to protect that Sparky as best as possible. So Valkyrie to stop that Ice Wizard should be pretty effective right there. Let's play our Furnace in the very back and just sort of set up for later as our Valkyrie tries to chip away at that Furnace right there. Okay, so Miner's gonna go down, and as you can see, it takes a long time to deploy the Miner. The Miner has to sort of walk around, and the Miner does do reduced damage against the towers, because if it didn't do reduced damage, then people would just use the Miner non-stop against one another. And as we drop our own Sparky in the very back, he's going to play his Miner, and watch what happens. It instantly gets popped by our Sparky, and then now he has his own Sparky, but luckily our Skeleton Warriors were there to tank a bit of damage. Now here comes our Sparky. It's going to take out both of his at once. We even played our Miner to give us a little bit more tankiness in the front, and we're just going to keep running down the left-hand lane. We've got the Lava Hound, we got the Sparky going crazy. 10 seconds left on the clock as the arrows get thrown down. This one is over, and it just showcases how strong these new legendary cards are inside of the game. So nuts stuff. You guys are definitely going to be wanting to use some of these new new cards. I imagine the amount of rage people are going to have when they lose against Sparky, just like the princess right now. I know so many people are like, man, I wish I had the princess. I wish I had the princess. Well, the Sparky is like the princess on steroids times a million, and is just super, super strong in its current state. Of course, we've only had a little bit of time to test it. There may be some great counters that we don't know about just yet, but as far as playing when it's on your opponent's side of the map, it's really tough to deal with, and it's really fun to see things just get absolutely evaporated when it makes its way down the lane. So here goes Sparky again, gonna take out those little fire spirits right there. We're gonna drop our own fire spirits to try to help out against the ice wizard right there. Eventually it'll make its way through, and you can see his Lava Hound is running down the lane, but rather than worry about the Lava Hound, I'm just going to go in with a huge offensive push, and I'm going to drop my own miner on top of his Sparky to distract it and try to do a little bit of damage. So first tower has gone down just like that due to the massive damage from the Sparky. It's going to end up taking out his in a single shot. The Sparky on Sparky Madness, I would totally expect people to be running Sparky, mirrored Sparky decks. I definitely can see that happening inside of the game. Unfortunately, our Sparky did just take aggro from the King Tower, and it is going to go down right there, but our Lava Hound should get at least a little bit amount of damage as we just try to protect the left-hand side of our map. Okay, so we're going to drop our Furnace yet again. He does have a Princess, which is a really good counter to the Furnace and the Fire Spirits because she can one-shot them pretty easily. Let's go and drop our arrows to take her out, and sort of just resetting. We definitely have the advantage going into the last minute and a half of the battle. And let's go ahead and see what happens as his Ice Wizard makes its way down the lane. I threw out the sad face because the Ice Wizard does end up killing these Fire Spirits. And again, here comes Sparky, and guess what? It's going to just dominate mine and kill my tower in the same shot. Absolutely ridiculous to deal with. We're going to have our Skeleton Warriors helping out right here, but we did just lose our tower plus a Sparky in a single shot. So, yeah. The Clash of Sparky has just begun, as you can see throughout this replay. Okay, so with a minute left in action, we do have a couple of cards we can play. We're going to play our Valkyrie, though, to start off from the back, as well as our Furnace to match his. And just getting ready for another push down the right-hand lane. We have to see what we want to drop. We can drop our Fire Spirits right on top of his Furnace, at least get a little bit of damage onto it. Let's drop our arrows as well to kill that Princess and get even more damage. Of course, he's going to drop his Sparky, as he should. And now we're going to drop our own Sparky in the very back and see if we can knock him out. Now, Skeleton Warriors are actually decent against Sparky because they can take a single shot with their shield, as you guys just saw right there. He's going to play his Miner right on top of my Sparky to try to distract it from another shot. Fire Spirit's going down yet again, and as they charge, and we actually end up killing his Sparky with ours, and now it's time for a game-winning push. We got the Lava Hound, we've got Sparky, we've got our Miner that we can just throw in a moment. Miner's going to go down right on top of his Sparky, and take a look, our Sparky's going to actually end up shooting the Skeleton Warriors rather than taking out his, so this one might go on just for a little bit longer. He's still got his Sparky over there, our Lava Hound is dying, it's going to end up exploding right there, Arrow's going to go down on top of the Princess, and then now we have to see if we can clean this up and play a little bit of defense. Now, of course, the best defense for a Sparky is another Sparky. He's actually going to play his, and as you can see, I was trying to get a card to distract it with, but one beats two right there, and somehow, some way, we were actually able to survive that push. We just ended up having the one that was fully charged up. Let's go ahead and drop our Skeleton Warriors on top of our Sparky to help out. Sparky is going to target the tower right here, and after the tower gets shot at, we've got our Lava Hound, we got a couple other cards, Arrow's going to go down, and that is going to wrap up the game. So there definitely is a lot of value in these three legendary cards. As you can see, the Lava Hound's a pretty decent tank. The Miner, obviously, really good for assassinating certain units and buildings, but obviously the big announcement is Sparky, which is just a crazy, ridiculous, silly card inside of this game. So hopping into one last battle against the Game Hunter, you can see we're going to be using all the new cards yet one more time, and actually my first 6 cards that I drew in this match were all the new cards from this update. And taking a look, we're going to play our Furnace. Somehow we actually messed it up to where he's going to get one of his Fire Spirits to do damage against my Furnace, so I want to make sure I take care of that as soon as possible. Notice again how long it takes for the Miner to reach that Furnace right there. You can definitely see it coming across the way, and we ended up doing a pretty decent amount of damage as he zapped our Miner out towards the end. Okay, so getting ready for a push, let's play a Lava Hound at the very top. Just gonna keep floating our way down there. I don't think our deck synergizes very well with the Lava Hound, but it's definitely a really meaty tank, as well as the Lava Pups do a pretty significant amount of damage when you get them going. And taking a look at his Sparky he's got in the other lane, we're gonna play our Skeleton Warriors and actually have a really good distraction and be able to take it out. Now our skeleton warriors, again, they take 2 hits. You got to take their shield off and then also do the damage to kill them. So Sparky's damage was only able to get rid of one of their shields because I surrounded it using like the triangle positioning of it. Now that we have our Lava Hound and our Valkyrie on the tower, this tower is as good as gone. He actually ended up using the zap against the Lava Hound right when it exploded into the lava pups, but still, we're going to take it out, and Valkyrie's going to start swinging away at this furnace and taking away a decent amount of its life. So at this point, just getting ready to play a little bit of defense. Of course, I'm going to try to go for the 3 crown as much as I can. We're just having some fun inside of these friendly battles. I accidentally dropped the furnace on the opposite side. I wanted to go for the right-hand tower, but now that it's going down the left, I might as well just try to see how far I can get. He's going to play a Lava Hound in the very beginning. Let's play our Sparky on the right. And the Lava Hound should be distracted by our furnace to where we can just make a big push on the right and sort of not care too much about the left. We don't really have too much else we could even play on the left to defend against the Lava Hound. However, we do need to defend against the Sparky. Notice the positioning of my skeleton warriors, making sure I'm surrounding the Sparky and taking it out as soon as I can. Valkyrie's going to end up shooting it down. He's going to play his little fire spirits to take on my Sparky and actually do a pretty decent job. Looks like the miner actually was dropped on defense. We're going to play our own miner on offense, as well as we have a Valkyrie and a skeleton warrior attacking that king tower. And so far so good. This match is looking pretty solid so far. As we drop our furnace right near his king tower, we're starting to get a decent amount of damage. Now notice our arrows. Our arrows take the shield off of the skeleton warrior while our lava pups try to take out that Sparky, and his Sparky is going to attack my furnace, taking that out in one shot. And now that our skeleton warriors have taken out his Sparky, let's set up for one more big push down the right hand lane with 15 seconds left. Now with 15 seconds, really not too much we can do. Take a look at the Sparky though, just dominating both the miner as well as the goblin barrel. That's gonna wrap it up for the game against the Game Hunter, and overall a really fun time trying out these new cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it's gonna be pretty fun with these new legendary cards inside of the game. I'm hoping that everyone gets a chance to play them. You know, whether you get lucky from chests. I know super magical chests are double or twice as more likely to appear inside of the game. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited for this. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to see some more content with these new cards. I'm going to be posting some more gameplay later today for you guys to check out. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.